So this is from r/relationship advice.
We are the people to come to. Clearly.
Title is My 27 male girlfriend, 25 female shared her body count, and I don't think I can continue with our relationship anymore.
How old was he?
27.
He should be better than this by now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've lost all hope. It's just... Okay, let's do it. We've been dating for 2 years. Prior to her, I was with 2 other girls from 16 to 19 and from 20 to 24. I've always been interested in long-term relationships, even when I was a teen, so I never looked for casual sex. I don't have anything against people who do, but I consider myself romantically incompatible with them, as our sex views differ. I met my significant other through a mutual friend who told me my significant other had very bad luck with men, that she had been dumped after a couple of months of dating them and deceived by the just to have sex. We took things slow, and for the most part of these 2 years have been great. We had some small fights here and there, and she drinks more than I like her to, but other than that, it's been good. Yesterday we stumbled across some of her old friends who I had never met, and I could tell something was off. She seemed almost embarrassed, and they had this weird smirk on their faces that I couldn't really decipher. After confronting my significant other, she finally admitted that she had multiple threesomes with 2 of those friends, and that during her early 20s, 20 to 23, she engaged in a lot of sex, drunken sex, etc. After I insisted, she finally confessed to sleeping with around 20 or 30 men during those years. I'm honestly devastated at this point. She never came clean to me. She was purposely hiding these things from her past. I made up with my friend this lie about being used by men because they knew that I would have never started dating someone with such a history. But now it's been 2 years and I've developed a lot of feelings for her. Unfortunately, I can't stop thinking about her past and the way she deceived me. I can't see any other way but a breakup. There's nothing wrong with what she did, but my views on relationships and sex are 180, and I can't imagine having kids with a woman who's engaged in such behavior. I feel terrible. Some friends have even accused me of being misogynistic because of this, but I can't help feeling the way I feel. Posting this out of desperation, hoping someone sheds a different light and I can find a way out.
Well, I don't think this guy is really looking for relationship advice. My spidey sense in this, being a straight white man myself, is that he's looking for validation for his shitty opinion.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be an interesting conversation. So I do think, again, as I said earlier, people are entitled to their preferences and stuff, but I feel like some preferences, we have to sort of sometimes try to understand where our preferences come from. And with things like this, it's like our values differ so much. It's completely ignoring the fact that human beings are dynamic, our values change, our opinions might change. And maybe you know, she's changed after those years and now she feels like, hey, I actually don't want to have casual sex anymore. And your views would be compatible. Then I don't see why, if your views in that moment are compatible, why her past matters that much. You know what I mean?
Very good point, yeah.
A lot of guys who talk about a body count thing fail to recognize this. If your views at that moment are incompatible, I completely understand that's a deal breaker, fine. But people can change.
I think there is an underlying cause for this that needs to be examined or at least acknowledged when we talk about this kind of stuff. We're all free to have our own preferences and be attracted to whatever it is that we're attracted to, or turned off by the things we're turned off by. But you have to examine whether those values are healthy to start with. Mm-hmm. Because for someone to talk so highly of their partner as this person does, and then to completely 180 when it turns out that she has a sexual history that doesn't include him or that he had no control over, the accusation of misogyny that he himself has raised, I think, is accurate. There is an old-fashioned sense of purity in this guy's opinion about his relationship. Mm-hmm. So if he's worried that his partner has slept with 20 to 30 people, where is the problem with that exactly? And why is that a problem, do you think?
I think it's very dependent on the individual. Some people have this sense of purity that comes from maybe being raised as very religious or something like this. But some people, men, I mean, I'm sure there are women who care about the body count thing with men as well.
Tradwives.
Yeah, but then it's like the lock and key analogy that I fucking hate.
What? Which is?
Like, a good key can open many locks, but if a lock is opened by many keys, then it's not a good lock, is it? You know what? I said, bitch. Let's do another analogy. A pencil and a pencil sharpener. If a sharpener sharpens several pencils, well, it's a good ass sharpener. But if a pencil is sharpened by many sharpeners, it's gonna be all used up. No one wants to write with that thing anymore.
Yeah, alright, fair point. I guess I can't argue with that kind of logic.
The number of partners doesn't necessarily make you incompatible with someone or make you, as I stated earlier, make it automatically so that you guys share different values. It's not always like that. And the body count thing is, my question would be, he doesn't mention his body count. He mentions he's had 2 previous relationships that both lasted for like several years. Has he had partners outside of that? He never mentions that. I would be interested to know if he has.
Yeah, and you can't be a mother afterwards.
Yeah,
isn't that fucking
of course
gross?
Yeah. It's like the Madonna horde dichotomy type of thing.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
That's gross. And I want to see the comments actually.
Okay, well, the first one, to my surprise, people are going to come for your throat for this post, but honestly, you are entitled to your preferences, and your relationship developed under false pretenses. You don't owe her a relationship just because you've been together for 2 years. First of all, fuck off. It's not that you don't owe her a relationship, you have a relationship. Even if you break up, there is still a relationship. Second, yes, you are entitled to preferences, but if your preferences are toxic, or if they're the product of a misapprehension or a poor understanding of physiology or relationship dynamics, you're entitled to have them, but you also have to acknowledge that they're shitty preferences, that they're unhealthy. And I think that this guy judging this woman, telling this woman that she shouldn't have kids because she's had a sexual history, I hope this guy never has a daughter, you know?
Oh yeah, like is he gonna view her as less if she has multiple partners too, or something like this? And this is like one of the reasons why women are hesitant to be honest about their sexual history.
Okay, here's another comment. Only marry someone you would be proud to have raised.
Oh yeah, so like if he has a daughter and she has multiple partners, then and she's, I don't know, like a neurosurgeon. Oh, I'm not proud of her anymore because she's a slut now. Yeah. Fuck this. Like, it's like, yeah, your value is completely tied to how many people you've slept with. That's it.
That's what it comes down to, isn't it? It's the value that we put on each other is dictated by how successul we are in inverted commas sexually.
I'm gonna switch this one up a little bit and ask you, what's your body? No.
69.
Ooh. Okay. Has a woman ever asked you that on a date?
Yeah, quite common actually.
Okay.
You're one of the very few that hasn't, and in fact you have.
I haven't asked you that.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
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 Yeah, We've had the conversation.
We've had, but I didn't ask you, and I don't know the number, and I don't care.
Yeah, okay. You remember I told you about that girl that punched me in the face when we broke up?
No.
The one I taught her to fight, and then...
Oh, yeah.
And then she broke my nose.
Yeah, she broke your nose, yeah.
Well, after that, she texted my mum the exact number of people that I'd slept with.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would die. I would be dead.
I had to send a text to my mum afterwards saying, I wish. Like, tried to cover my tracks.
What did your mom say?
My mum didn't reply, but she and I have talked about it since.
Okay.
And she kind of didn't believe it either because it was such a ridiculously astronomical number that it can't possibly have been true.
Like you've had sex with 3 different people every day since you were 10 years old.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I've just been in a non-stop bacchanalian orgy since the time I was an adolescent.
I've had a breakup, not a breakup. It was like more of a situationship, kind of like there was this tweet that went around a while ago. It was like, a happy International Boyfriend Day for all the girls who are not allowed to call him that. So it's kind of that type of situation.
Okay.
Yeah. And after it ended really badly, he kind of went around telling people like, oh, she slept with so-and-so. And it was also like something that was like completely not true. And I was like, oh, that's a lot. And also something that comment about like marrying someone who would have been proud to raise, you owe people kindness and empathy and being a decent human fucking being. That's what you owe. And it's not showing here. But people can change.
It's him who needs to change.
And I feel like a lot of the time women's like sexual history also in these types of situations can be used sort of against them.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, they've done this before, so therefore they are a certain way. So it's either like they're not worthy of a relationship, or then people will also, like, on the flip side of that, think like, oh, well, she slept with all of these people, so therefore she owes me sex. Which is another thing.
Yeah. This was posted in relationship advice, so let's give this person some advice. What advice would you give this person?
Break up. She deserves better.
I would say go to therapy, examine yourself a little bit.
That too. Mm-hmm.
Find out where this weird resentment comes from. Stop saying shit on the internet too.